Hello and welcome back. Once again, it is time for the Golden Age of DC Comics 365 Days, where I take this beloved hardcover coffee table book given to me about 2 decades ago by one of my best friends. It has been surfing my coffee table ever since. And what goes great, there's some coffee table books, some coffee table talk, some freshly brewed awesome coffee. This is Ethiopian Irgachefe. Oh yeah, delish. Let me wet my whistle, please. So pull up a chair, bring a cup of whatever you'd like. We're going to have some coffee table comic book conversations, the kinds we used to have in the comic book shop any given Wednesday. I want to recreate those comic book shop style conversations here, right now, today with you. So thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you and I'm blessed and I hope you are having a great day. The Golden Age of Comics runs between 1938 and 1955. The Silver Age between 1956 and 1970. The Bronze Age, I'm a Bronze Age baby myself, from 1970 until 1985, and then the Copper Age begins in 1985. This is a Abrams 2004 publication, written and curated by Les Daniels, Chip Kidd, and Geoff Spear. You can find a link to the Amazon page in the description. If you want your own copy, it will look great on your coffee table, and it makes a great gift for a geek. Trust me, I know. At the beginning of the show, I like to get into something that matters a lot to me, and it's about escapism. And I call this the escapism caveat. Listen, activism is very important, and activists can be important people. And the world has its problems, and the people in it need help. Yet over the past several years, activists have become bullies, literally intellectual colonials. And this intellectual colonialism, I'm going to get to this idea. They're infiltrating and invading pre-existing spaces such as fandoms and sports, and they're demanding that changes be made and that they have to have their message. These our fandoms, our stories, our sports be their platform for their social messaging. It doesn't matter what their intent is. But they're very adamant, and they'll use really proactive bad labeling to get their way. And if they don't get their way, the problem's with you. You're a bigot, you're an ist, you're a phobe, just to try to compel you into going along with what they're selling. But guess what is just as important as activism? Escapism. Being able to leave behind this world's problems just for a few moments in your stress-filled day. Why would you want to be continually reminded of your problems in your fictions or in your sports? They're there for you to leave your problems behind. Who would do that to you? Someone that doesn't care about you, obviously. Someone very selfish. Someone who's a bully. And so this intellectual colonialism, invading pre-existing spaces that had a population and a culture and a history and mores, and to replace them. This sounds a lot like the conquistadors in Christianity or the British Empire or stuff like that. I see it plainly. Do you? So yeah, I can respect an activist, but activists do not respect me or us. So we need to take a stand. Activism has its space, it has its place, so stay in your own lane. Seriously, we've had enough. We need a break from our problems. What kind of asshole just keeps rubbing your nose into other people's shit? Huh? Well, let's get back to the good stuff. I use this book for its intended purpose. It's a 365 days book. We're going to open up to today's date, which is July the 22nd. We're going to look at some comic book art. We're going to read the blurb, and then we're going to talk about comic books. And we're talking about comic books every day for the rest of the year. So let's get to it. All right. It is July the 22nd, and I hope you are having an excellent day. I hope you are clobbering your problems and not being clobbered by your problems. And I hope you have a little escapism so you can just not think about those problems just for a few minutes. God bless you. It is July the 22nd. This is an advertisement from Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen, issue number 1, cover dated October of 1954, near the end of the Golden Age, and it's going to show some transition of a medium, of media, in a way. Medium is the singular of medium. A radio would be a medium. The radio and television is media. You know what I mean? And so let's get to it. This is an advertisement. Superman on television is Super TV. See your newspaper for time and channel. So let's read this blurb. By the time this ad appeared in 1954, The Adventures of Superman had already been on the air for a year. Production actually began in 1951. We're going to get to that. It had been playing ever since, entertaining generation after generation for more than a half century. One reason is DC's prescience in deciding to film the later episodes in color long before that practice became commonplace. Even more important was a personable cast, which included George Reeves as Superman, Jack Larson as Jimmy Olsen, and Phyllis Coates, but mostly Noelle Neal as Lois Lane. The mysterious death of George Reeves in 1959 has only added to the show's mystique. There we are. Yeah, you see the Superman font, that legendary, iconic, 3D, impactful font. We see Superman himself on the television screen. We can see a cigar in the mouth of a jowled business person. It's probably Lex Luthor, you know? And we can see Superman's feet in flight, his boots in midair, and speed lines in the above panels that are cropped at the top. It's Superman! Dun, 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 dun. I grew up on this very Superman show. It was in constant reruns. I remember the black and white ones. I remember the color ones. And now to come to think about it, Noelle Neal was a redhead. And I always was thinking, the Snyder movie, Man of Steel, why cast Amy Adams, a redhead, and someone who's traditionally been brunette in the entire span of the comic books, and even Margot Kidder in the early, Donner, Christopher Reeves movies. That makes sense. Is if it's a TV reference. I'm also a fan of the old-time radio show. I found this several years ago, over a decade ago, and I turned my friends onto it. I found this internet radio station. This is before internet radio was a big thing. So I just found this independent website called Antioch Old Time Radio, and they would play the Superman radio serial. The Superman radio serial aired from 1940 until 1951, and it was one of the most popular kid shows out there. And remember, TV didn't come into real American homes until the late 40s, early 1950s, after World War II. Television and the space race contributed to the end of the Golden Age because the focus was shifting. And so the radio show ends in 1951. Production of the TV show begins in 1951. And they had the same sponsor initially, Kellogg's cereal. See, breakfast cereal was new back then. Kellogg's, P-E-P, Pep. Superman eats Pep. And the show also kept its the announcer. His name was Bill Kennedy, and he voiced the opening narration of the show from the 1940s radio show and the 1940s Superman cartoons, and he did the narration for the famous opening of that TV show. And it actually, the TV show is where it gained the American way. So I'm going to read it in the Bill Kennedy style voice that I grew up hearing. And by 1945, the opening and the close of the show starts with faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. And enter flourish. And yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings in a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its targets, bend steel in his bare hands, who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice. And by 1951, it's added into Truth, Justice, and the American Way. And now another exciting episode's in The Adventures of Superman. Ha-ha. I'm looking this up, and the radio show invented the K material, which became eventually kryptonite, and that was like drafted up into the comic book and became, well, we all know kryptonite. Kryptonite's a cliche in a way. That's embedded in cultural literacy, and man, like, you know, mostly any American or Westerner knows what's kryptonite. I don't know. What do you think about that statement? Do I need more data to support my conclusion? I wouldn't suggest that anyone from like the Middle East or China or India would know what kryptonite was, but maybe they would. Maybe maybe that idea is that global, and I'd like to say that Geoff Johns, modern DC comic book writer, actually maybe even improved that ending part, but Superman fighting for truth, justice, and the universal way, because by the 31st century of Legion of the Superheroes, that concept of the American way became a bit more of the universal way, and it was an evolution of the American way, which I find great and fascinating. People still flock to this country for freedom and opportunity. So, I mean, remember that when you're confronted with activism in your escapism, especially if it's anti-jingoistic or anti-whatever, more like an anti-monitor nanny state, blah blah woof woof. Let's not get into that. Let's wrap up the show. We've been talking about comic books, and we're going to be talking about comic books every day for the rest of the year. So tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, and we'll find out who we're talking about when we turn the page tomorrow. Please like and subscribe. Ring those notification bells. I would love to be part of your YouTube day. I would love to earn your subscription with my daily content. I'm a professional chef. I share with you cooking hacks. I'm a spiritual guy, an ordained minister, an amateur theologian. Hashtag lighten up. It's about enlightenment and how a little of it can go a long way in your daily existence. We talk about spirituality and gratitude here. I also do daily content of bunnies in the morning eating their breakfast, or even planets in the naked eye sky. And we talk about comic books every day. So thank you so very much. Tune in. We will see you again tomorrow in the funny pages, okay? God bless, namaste, and good luck. Cheers. Bye-bye.